stuff. We'll work on translating this for the next time.
I think we can have live translators, right? With translation channels.
Here we go. We know that we're in Project Catalyst. We know that things will break, lack documentation, differ greatly between iterations. And we're all in this to learn and to grow together. And just want to welcome you all to one of our first ever Cardano Impact Community monthly meetup. And I suspect we're going to grow from here and hear about some pretty amazing things going around and on the Cardano blockchain. We have Hien Mei, where it's 4 o'clock in the morning and she's sharing our screens for us. Juanita's coming in from Colombia. Afia, please just say where you're all coming in from.
I'm coming in from Ghana, Accra, and it's 8 p.m. here. And I appreciate all the work we are all doing together.
This is a place to celebrate.
New York City, 4 p.m.
West Coast of Canada, 1 p.m.
I'm right here at 4 p.m. in Maryland.
I'm in Czech Republic, 10 p.m.
Shaw's also newly married, by the way, just in case anybody needs to know that.
Congratulations.
Yeah, on Thursday, Sean. Where are you
guys? Me.
Yeah.
But I'm from coming in from Ireland, 9 p.m. just home from work.
Okay.
Right,
Daniel.
Mexico City, 2 p.m. for me now.
In Colombia, 3 p.m. for me now.
Yeah, Martin from Congo, DRC. This is 10 p.m. now.
All right, I'm logging in from India, and this is 1:35 right now, a.m.
Hi, this is Jim from Turkey. It's 11 p.m. right now.
Kilmali and Boaz from Goma, DRC, 8 p.m. UTC.
And Dan's coming in here too. Very good friend of mine. Dan, where are you dialing in from?
Hi, Melanie. I am dialing in from Berlin, Germany.
And it's 9 p.m. there?
It's 10 p.m. We had the time change a couple of days ago.
There's a few people that should actually be in bed right now, obviously. And when it warms my heart that you're here at these terrible hours. The next time we do this, it's going to be 7 hours earlier. So it's going to be a different time zone. And we're welcome to do a different time zone even outside of that, where I have to get up early in the morning. I'd be happy to do that. All right, Hien Mei is sharing the screens at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, some terrible time when I would normally be sleeping. So here we go. Welcome all to the Cardano Impact Community Monthly Meetup, our very first one. Afia, over to you.
Yes, we are all welcome. And as we said, we are all here to facilitate, collaborate, and then find connections into all that we are doing. We are here to share and learn. We're going to learn from each other how to move on. Embody an impact governance collectively of everybody's ideas. And then for each project, we'll know what is the need to help, how we can help into it, and what is needed. So we are all here to collaborate. As we are in the Cardano family, we'll say that things may break, but I'm sure tonight is going to be great for all of us. Ooh. I hope you enjoy it.
You know what? I think it was really fun because a lot of people showed up an hour early. So in some worlds, that would be a broken thing, but it was actually really neat to have everybody here. A lot of people here an hour early. So our Cardano Impact Community Monthly Meetup, first of many. Next slide, please, Hien Mei. Our agenda is jam-packed for today. We have many presenters. We have many just single slides and lots of links. So the hope is that everybody will be able to connect and find something that resonates. Next slide, please. Typically in an event like this, Yoram would be here. I'd be interrupting him. He'd be interrupting me. But he's in Israel right now. And when I spoke to him this morning, there was very little hope in his voice. And that's, if you know Yoram, this is scary. And so I told him, I said, have hope, my friend, because we are here. And that's what happens. There may be something going on in one place of the world, but because we're across the world, it's not always bad everywhere. So we can help each other. So we're pivoting a little bit today, almost canceled, but it's like, no, we're going to move forward. Next slide, please. Because the reason we're here is many of us are here. We've heard this, making the world work better for all. Cardano, this is the mission on the Cardano Foundation website. Next slide, please. Chasing the WADA dream. This is going to be over to you, Peter.
Thank you, Melanie. To follow up with your, dreams and inspiration, this is the documentary that is exactly about that. It is the documentary that describes the very first steps of our good friends in WADA, and I think I will let the trailer speak for myself, because it's better to watch, please.
We live in a time abundant with different forms of information technology. One of the modern innovations that came into the world in 2009 is called blockchain. For many, it's an incomprehensible idea or a hardly feasible dream of decentralization. For others, it's a farce solely for speculators. But for some, this technology brings unique opportunities.
The impact potential that we can see with Africa is huge.
L'Afrique ne soit pas en retard, il faut donc intégrer la blockchain dans nos activités.
Blockchain is the future for Africa. It's going to transform our economy. It's going to transform our financial sector. It's going to transform our educational sector as well.
We want to give access to people on the continent and in diaspora to actually be part of this revolution.
That's the main thing, to give them voice and access to people of the African heritage.
So links to that trailer are in the chat. We'll put that in the YouTube video as well, and more links to WADA. You know, all over blockchain seems like we're running with this FOMO, this fear of missing out, and there's this distraction. So we're going to run through a whole bunch of different projects here, have some time at the end of the meeting to go into breakout rooms and connect deeper. So just let's not stress, and I'm going to try not to stress myself. I have very little here on the CNC ALA project. Next screen, please, or slide. Everything you need to know right there is in these links. Start with the tweet, and it'll tell you everything about this amazing project, and also their website, the CNC ALA project website. Over to you, Daniel.
Thank you, Melian. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I'm really excited to be part of these monthly meetups, and let's see how far we can get them. I've come here to, first, I wanted to present myself. My name is Daniel Sampson, and I'm one of the co-founders of Metera Protocol. Metera comes from the words meter and terra, which combined means measure earth. We are a DeFi protocol being built in the Cardano ecosystem, and we are creating a platform where people can invest and create tokenized portfolios. Really quick, a tokenized portfolio is a basket of assets that is represented with a token. One of our main points of focus is impact, because when we created this platform, we wanted to make sure we could guide our users or investors towards sustainable and climate-friendly projects, and that's why we've created the IMS. Yeah, in that slide, perfect. So on the 15th of this month, we released the Impact Measurement System, an open rating source tool to assess digital assets under impact metrics. This IMS uses 4 distinct rating impact systems, which are: one, the manual rating. This rates the overall impact and risk of the assets. Then we do a GSRM rating, which measures the governance, strategy, risks, and metric of a digital asset. Then we go to the global framework of the United Nations of the Sustainable Development Goals to understand which areas the project or the digital asset in question is supporting towards. And lastly, one of the last systems we use is the IRIS Plus, which is a really big framework created by the Global Impact Investing Network. Okay, so on the 7th of April, we are releasing our closed demo, in which we're going to be showcasing how we use the IMS to provide data and have this spider web of showing which criteria those digital assets support towards and what's their score. We're going to be rating portfolios, overall portfolio ratings to see in environmental, social, and governance, which areas they are attacking most with the investment that users provide. And also we are showing in-depth analysis of each one of the assets within the portfolio. So this is going to be released on the 7th. Everyone who likes can reach to me and he can have an access to the demo and showcase that. What we need is support from everyone on our social media. Also, if anyone is interested on the IMS, please help us rate assets on the Cardano ecosystem. It's a really big task, and we need people that want to start rating, or even if you have a project, you can start rating your own project. It's an open source tool. Everyone can have access. I'll leave the link on the chat right now. And yeah, come and test our demo and see how investment can really make an impact. Thank you very much, everyone.
IMS, what does that mean?
Impact Measurement System.
Okay, so, all right, because you mentioned that. There you go. Just in case anybody other than me missed that. Thank you. Littlefish, Jem is here from Turkey with the Littlefish Foundation. We will have a much wider and more in-depth presentation from them soon. In the meantime, here's some information about them. Jem, go ahead.
Thank you, Melanie. Hello, my name is Jem Karaca. I'm one of the founders of Littlefish Foundation. Our aim is to bring like-minded individuals together to act on common goals. So we have 5 accepted proposals from Catalyst ecosystem, and we have legal research and other stuff. I'm pasting our links to this chat, and you can find our Medium and other related links on the chat. And right now we are working on the application side of Littlefish, and we are trying to maximize involvement on creating activities and making them as NFTs, and those NFTs will be collected by the collectors. So right now we are developing the front end and the back end of the infrastructure, and we want to use some artificial intelligence on matching the people all around the world. So this is the progress right now. If you have more questions, I would like to answer them happily. Thank you.
Hey, Jim, wonderful. How can we get involved?
You can, thank you, Newman. You can directly connect to our Discord server, and you can have our meetings on every Mondays, and I will also paste the links to the chat here. Thank you.
Perfect. So yes, please feel free. Anybody here, you're allowed to spam the chat with links, and we'll add these links also to our YouTube description. Cardano Impact Report. Daniel, can you speak to this?
Yeah, so Sustainable ADA has been working on an impact report. The report highlights the positive social and environmental impact Cardano is having on communities and businesses around the world. From financial inclusion to, can you go back a little bit? From financial inclusion to environmental sustainability, you can see all the connections Cardano has to sustainable development, highlighting how Cardano is making a real difference. Code has taken on this task with RAS. I think it's really important that we support them on the launch. They've been working on this for months and months now. It's not a Project Catalyst funded proposal, so they are doing it by themselves. And I think it's really amazing. If you go into the partnerships or the people that are supporting in the next slide, yeah, that one. There's a lot of people helping the project. Metera has written a section about the IMS, the impact measurement system. Within it, they got to talk to the first ESG rating company for crypto assets called Green Crypto Research, which also did a section, a very important section for the future of impact investment in blockchain. So yeah, let's try and support them. I think it's gonna be amazing and it's gonna put impact on the map. It's coming out either on the 10th or the 15th. So pretty soon we're gonna have the report, and I think it's over 200 pages long.
Did you mention Dr. Mihaela was part of this?
No, go ahead.
Well, yeah. I just know that the first time I saw her was at Cardano Summit a couple years ago, and she was talking about projects I had no idea were existing or even in the works in Cardano. And amazing Dr. Mihaela Ullery, and I think I've butchered that name as well, her name, but amazing woman, and she's had a huge impact on this report as well. So, next presentation we just want to talk about a little bit is Direct Ed Development Foundation. Next slide, please, Yanmei. And I'll let you just read this. Everybody can just read this for a second. Simon was one of the presenters at our Cardano Summit workshop on impact and opportunity for Cardano. We have a trailer for his work. And there is a way of getting a hold of Simon on Twitter at Simon Sahlstrom. Next project, Goma WADA Hub. Boaz and Martin, anybody from that group, please feel free to share a little bit more on what you guys are doing.
Yeah, so thank you. Thank you for giving me the speech. This is Martin from Goma in the Democratic Republic of Congo in the heart of Africa. So we have a WADA Hub. We have been running a WADA Hub since now about 1 year, and we are running a stake pool. So we almost within the WADA Hub hold weekly meetups with local students, where we almost discuss about actualities in the Cardano ecosystem and trying to open local students and see how they can participate within this ecosystem. So our stake pool is trying to support with ecotourism. There are some places, some nice places you can be. We are promoting around Goma, and also the wildlife conservation within the National Park of Virunga, which is a home to several endangered species. And thanks also to some rewards we earn from the stake pool, we also train developers. There are young people here who are interested in learning some Bluetooth, learning some coding. So thanks to the stake pool, we try to do something. So we are also holding what we have been calling Goma Monthly. We almost hold it within each first Catalyst Town Hall of the month. So at 5th April, we will be live in the after Town Hall. So if someone has some space on their agenda, they can just jump in and meet the Goma crowd. So as a stake pool, we almost facing difficulties because the stake pool has to be funding all these activities, but we still have a small amount of staked ADA on our stake pool, though we're having difficulties to be minting blocks regularly, and this is sometimes preventing maybe some activities to be done. And so we almost face other difficulties like internet, energy security, such difficulties. You know, there are young people who would like to be participating in such kinds of meetups. Maybe some of them do not have access to internet, or they don't have they're missing some devices, so such kind of bricks. So we hope the things will be just improving themselves, and maybe in upcoming days you can find in such meetings maybe 10 guys from Goma, just because they are very interested in learning. They're very interested in learning, and so just some barriers, but there are some people here really interested in learning things about technology. So boss have been sharing some links in the chats, our website, maybe our YouTube and our Twitter. If anybody wants to reach out, we'll be proud to have any debates. So thank you. If maybe Boaz can add something, I don't know.
That'd be great. Martin, thank you for that. And Boaz, please feel free to speak in French or Swahili. Just happy to hear another language. Or Spanish, if you know Spanish.
Accenté. Gracias. Merci beaucoup. J'aimerais un peu vous parler des Goma WADA Hub et les stake pools que nous sommes en train de manager ici à Goma. Nous avons commencé il y a déjà à peu près une année et nous sommes en train d'évoluer. C'est la conjugaison de beaucoup d'efforts à travers le monde, à travers Cardano, à travers Project Catalyst et beaucoup d'autres organisations autour de Cardano. Nous faisons la promotion de l'écotourisme ou bien de l'environnement en général, et aussi soutenons l'éducation par l'enseignement de Bluetooth et Haskell ici dans la ville de Goma, et quelquefois en ligne sur YouTube avec Monsieur Gentil depuis le Canada. Également avec les staking sur notre stake pool de Goma, nos rewards ou bien nos récompenses sont donnés pour la promotion et la protection des gorilles dans les parcs de Virunga. Et malheureusement, nous faisons face à plusieurs difficultés, par exemple l'énergie, parce que nous avons l'énergie solaire ici sur laquelle nous manageons notre stake pool. Malheureusement, ce n'est pas suffisant avec l'alternance de l'hydroélectrique. Quelquefois, il n'y a pas de courant, on n'a pas d'Internet. Et puis, cela nous cause souvent défaut pour évoluer dans notre contribution à l'écosystème de Cardano. C'est pour que nous avons souvent des mains tendues pour ceux-là qui veulent aider Goma, pour ceux-là qui veulent aider la jeunesse de Goma, et nous voir continuer de pouvoir nous aider et voir si nous pouvons arriver à réaliser notre mission et notre vision ici dans la ville de Goma. D'autres activités, je pense que vous pouvez nous suivre sur nos médias sociaux et vous serez toujours mis à jour selon les activités que nous sommes en train de mener ici pour la promotion de notre communauté locale. Accent sana.
Perfect. And I can certainly understand more French than I could ever speak. So I caught some of that. Solar power, energy, this is something that I hope that we can work on, figuring out the logistics of getting what you need that we often take for granted. We're going to skip over to what the amazing work that's going on in Empowa. Bruno is still here, right?
Yes, I am. Hello, Melanie.
Hi, Bruno.
Hello, everyone. I am Bruno. I work with Empowa. I do a lot of community management and marketing with Empowa. And what Empowa is a platform on Cardano that tries to enable affordable financing for climate-friendly and affordable housing on the continent of Africa. And up to now we've financed. I tend to say we've built, but we don't build any homes at Empowa. We finance local developers to do that. And so far we've financed 35 homes, both from Catalyst and from NFT sale that we did in the past. You can have a look at that NFT on JPEG Store. It's the Empowa World Mobile Seed NFT. And maybe I'll just go into that quickly. It was in partnership with World Mobile because they're looking to provide some affordable telecommunication services to the homes that we've financed. So it's going to be like a 2-in-1 for the people that live there. They're going to be essentially where World Mobile deploys from. That's going to be their first location within Mozambique. And yeah, that's pretty cool for everyone there. And yeah, hopefully that's going to improve a lot of the internet connection so we can get some nice videos from people on the ground in their lovely new homes. And yeah, just recent updates from us is the black paper release. So this black paper is essentially a mathematical document mostly with some nice diagrams and stuff for those of you that are a bit like me and prefer to have a visual representation of what's going on. And yeah, you can learn all about how there'll be collateralization through the Empowa platform in order to enable institutional investors essentially to come into the platform and finance more homes. We've also deployed Empowa Pay. That's an application that's going to be the client-facing application for the Empowa platform. So people who are leasing a home, they are able to track their payments through the Empowa Pay application, and the property developers that are taking a loan from Empowa are also able to track their repayments and give financial reporting back to Empowa. So yeah, it makes Empowa a more robust platform by having that application there to track payments and verify things. And it saves a lot of money with like typical like REIT, for example. You would need auditors to go and ensure that everyone is, fulfilling their end of the bargain. And we're kind of able to do that virtually through the Empowa Pay platform, which is quite cool. Then some other, project-related updates in terms of on-the-ground projects is the MOU signed with a Nigerian developer called the Affordable Housing Company, TACO. You can see them there. And we're going to be looking to explore, obviously, a project there in Nigeria, something small at first, similar to what we did in Mozambique, and hopefully to expand further, which is kind of what this last one is about, which is the Metera project. So yeah, off the back of our success with the 35 homes so far, we signed another MOU with the SDU Beira. So that's the city where we built the first 35 homes, or we've financed the first 35 homes. And that's a 25,000 home development, but it's going to be a long-term development. So nothing we're going to finance in the space of a year or anything like that. It'd probably be a course of 10 years, something along those lines. But yeah, that's essentially the updates for now. And on the side there, you can see a little sneak peek into what's happening next month with the launch of EMP staking on the Genius Yield platform. So that's going to be in the build up to a lot of other releases we've got in the next year. So yeah, I hope that covered everything and I didn't take up too much time.
Bruno, that's absolutely amazing. Thank you. Not too much time. You just have to tell me what MOU means.
It's like an agreement. Forgot what it stands for exactly, but it's like an agreement. It's not exactly saying that we're 100% going to finance something, but it's saying, we're in very advanced talks, let's say, to finance some things. So yeah, that's how I would describe it as. But maybe if someone else has some better understanding.
I like it because it looks like it's squished in me and you put together, so it's MOU, and it sounds like, okay, there we go, memorandum of understanding. Or it's an agreement between me and you. I like that. There we go. Thank you, Bruno, for that. Yeah, quite an amazing project. You'll hear a lot about them all the time at the summit and other things because it's big. James, I've got you these ugly slides. I hope it'll work for you. Do you want us to share them or do you want to speak off your cuff? You've got about 4.5 minutes.
Oh, good. And sorry to be running a few minutes late, everybody. No, these are fine, Melanie, and thanks. So, hey, it's good to see everybody. Hey, and I got some students of Plutus PBL here. Newman's been really rocking. People have been jumping in. So, hey, everybody. We are running a course at Gimbalabs called Plutus Project-Based Learning. And project-based learning, there's a lot of reasons I'm excited about it, but I think one of the most important things is that if you're trying to learn something technical by working on a project, you're always going to learn some other things along the way, right? Some things that you didn't expect to. You might learn some extra patience, who knows, right? That might be a good chance to practice. But there's also so many big picture questions that these new tools we're all using right now place directly in front of us, that for the Gimbalabs team, the only way we can think about trying to get people to come inside of those big questions is to be working on a project where they have an opportunity to see those questions firsthand. Oh no, and so Bruno in the chat, just everybody, like, this is self-paced, and we're going to keep rolling out content. And if you don't start for 6 months, it's okay. Really what we're trying to do is put something out there that people can start anytime and move at their own pace. And I really hope that people will feel that lack of pressure as they work through. So Melanie, if we go to the next slide, this is an example of a big picture question I just want to put in front of everybody, because it's one that students get to see a couple of times in the first few modules of the course. If you can do what right here is called student learning target number 100.2, I can get free test ADA on the pre-production testnet. I could go verify that. Melanie could say, hey, I did it. I got that free data on the testnet. I could say, oh, you did, Melanie. Give me your address. Let me verify that, right? And blockchains provide data that could be used as proof for certain things. On the other hand, is there anything I can look at on chain to know for certain that Melanie knows how to safely store her keys, as it says in Learning Target 100.3? And this is such an important concept. Okay. Oh, and thank you, Helen, for running the slide deck. I'm just seeing that now. Right. This is the concept that really starts to get people thinking in a deeper way about what a blockchain can actually do for us. Yeah. All right. It could show me that you've got some tokens in your wallet, but it can't show me that your mnemonics aren't held by 16 other people, all these strangers who are going to steal them, right? And that's a fascinating concept that the deeper you go into blockchain development continues to reveal itself. And this is an initial version of this question that I'm putting in front of you right now. But there's just deeper and deeper contexts in which you start to come up against this question of evidence and proof, and it all leads us towards reputation and identity and these things that we're all talking about anyway, that we have some concept that maybe the blockchain is going to help with these problems. So yeah, project-based learning, because we want people to understand the big picture in addition to the technical stuff. And we're really trying to provide a space for people to learn that on their own way.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Cardano for climate. Thank you, Hien Mei, for keeping me on track. And that's what we're here. You know, Cardano for climate started because I was going through Idea Scale, I think in Fund 5, and it's like, oh my God, all these impact projects all over the place, all disconnected. Let's find a way of getting connected. And this is our first monthly event. Boy, as you can see, there's so much stuff going on. And I hope that out of this, there will become some more amazing connections and things going on. We hold weekly meetups. We're hosting monthly events. We helped, Yoram was instrumental in the Cardano Summit, bringing James and many other projects, 12 other impact projects. Peter came along and did promotional video from those. When I think about where we were a year ago, it feels like we're moving at a snail's pace, but we are moving forward, and I'm very excited about that. The next project that I want to talk about is Pike in Malawi. This is the gimbal token sent to Pike by mistake. Dan, It started with a tweet, March 17th at 11 o'clock my time. Dan says, you know, here's an address, an ADA address you can donate money to help out Cyclone Freddy victims in Malawi. And it's like, hang on a second. We know Pike. We can do this. Next slide, please. And this is how the ball starts rolling. If you were here, you could have dropped tears. Most people have helped. You have helped stay 2 days without any food. People are in camps, but with zero food. Most of us don't know what that's like. So tweets, chats, there's a whole bunch of links. I'll share some of these with you. I hope you will follow this amazing story. Next slide, please. We know Pike. We sent him some ADA. Sean knows Pike from Littercoin. We sent Pike 600 ADA a year ago, and he turned it into money that he needed for garbage bags and other things. So again, we had his address. We sent him a test ADA March 18th at 9:30 my time. By the time March 18th, 1:30 my time, Pike had 805 ADA sold in his Kraken wallet and about to be turned into the local currency, which actually took longer. Next slide, please. So within a few hours, he had ADA from Canada, from everywhere around the world that donated to him. He had it in his hands in Malawi. March 22nd, he confirmed that he had turned it into Malawi currency. And March 24th, Pike has arrived in Blantyre, and he is starting the donations. Next slide, please. Most roads were impassable. And you can play this little video, please, Hienmi. And next slide, please. Now, the cool part is that Pike is taking pictures of everything that's going on. What's the connection to the Cardano blockchain? Pike is uploading these to the OpenLitterMap. Sean, maybe do you want to speak a minute or two to this? You know,
I'd love to, Melanie. Yeah, thanks so much. I didn't have any time to submit my slides, but I'd love to take the floor for a minute. So OpenLitterMap is for litter, but the technology that we're developing can be used for anything. And that's the whole point, right? So anyone can fork this thing. It's already been forked through C4C to map landmines in Ukraine, right? And now Pike is using the same technology to just share data on his impact, right? And that's what Littercoin is. It's not just for litter. It's about sharing real world activities and real world location data. So no matter if you're picking up litter, if you're planting a tree, you can use the same technology to share your location and real world verifiable information. So OpenLitterMap is actually a precursor to another platform that I haven't had time to start yet. But excuse me, litter will be one category in this new app that I'm going to work on in the future, right? So this is, we're started with litter for a number of reasons. It's everywhere, everybody knows what it is. And when we can crack litter, it's very easy to redeploy the technology or to add new categories or to build up all the different things that need to be collected or all the data that needs to be collected. So litter is one very important part of this puzzle. And Pike has already understood that, like, I need more than just litter. Like, I'm feeding people. I'm giving money away. We're rebuilding homes. So he's using the same technology, even though it's very underdeveloped, he's deploying it for his own needs. And that's very powerful.
And we're using whatever we can. You know, we communicate through Twitter. We use our wallet. He has a Kraken wallet. We have OpenLitterMap. Absolutely amazing. We don't have the technology right now that shows supply chain traceability. This is a dream, hopefully, that's going to come together in the very, very near future. Yes.
Yeah, and very happy to announce as well that Littercoin is currently on pre-prod in testing, and we're testing it, and we're building a public interface, and it's launching on 4/20 next month. So that's going to be huge.
So Sean, next month we're going to hear a bigger update from you, please.
100%.
More information on this. Right now we have Pike's story, and even if we canceled everything else, we were going to still share Pike's story because this is absolutely amazing. And I thank you for your part in this.
Pike's the real deal.
Real deal, and so are you. So are you, Sean.
Thanks, Mel, and so are you. So is everybody here. But so just for context, the reason Pike is here is because I went looking on Twitter, as I always do, for plastic pollution, dumping, litter. And I found this guy in Malawi, and I was like, he's looking for help. I'm a guy looking for help. He's just another guy looking for help. So I reached out to him. I was like, you gotta know about Project Catalyst and C4C. And he was like, I'm in. And ever since then, Pike's just been in the community.
And he posts regularly in our C4C. Hien Mei, please, next slide. This is absolutely amazing. So March 25th, this weekend, that's 3 days ago, Pike's in, he's in a town. Hundreds and hundreds of Cyclone Freddy victims are in dire need of food. Pike sent pictures to me of his receipts. And here's a list of all the things that he bought with this $273 of currency from Malawi, our 805 ADA. Next slide, please. Pike, door to door, boots on the ground. Here he is.
Like we have been saying, this is a unique type of donation. We're using door-to-door reach out in touch. As you can see, this is another building which was kind of like the devastating Freddy. Now we have here Mama for the owner of this house. She is hopeless, and her children are hopeless as well. So they have stayed almost 2 days without food. So for this help, Cardano, thank you so much.
You know, and it looks, at first I looked at that and I thought, oh, there's just a path there. You know, nice smooth walking path. This is where the water's gone, washed away homes, washed it so far away that they don't have their bricks anywhere near the restructuring of their homes. So next slide, please. So it started with a tweet, and Dan's here too, and it ends, it ended yesterday or a few days ago with Dan's tweet. Can we set up an NFT donation wallet for charity auction to get more resources to cyclone victims? Roundtable, multisig, Fett reach. I have no idea what that means. But Dan, I know that there are people here that do know what that means, and that we can figure out something more trustworthy, more complex, something built on Cardano. Dan, do you want to add any more? And this is a thank you. What we see in the video is, sorry, it's quality may be hard to hear, but it's 71 people, 12 families being affected by what you started, Dan. So I want to thank you for that.
No thanks needed. I kind of see it as not my duty, but something that I like to do because I'm definitely in a privileged position. So yeah, regarding the last tweet, hi everyone. The Fett reach was because the Fettuccine NFT account that I pinged, or that I mentioned there, it's from a guy named Fettuccine, and everyone calls him Fett for short. And he is a marketing genius, and Noodle's brain That's the second one. I would like to get some input from him on how we can approach this. But the main idea was quick and dirty to set up a roundtable multi-signature with 5 people holding the keys. That would be something that you and the community could decide. Maybe WADA, maybe C4C, I could hold one. And then we can do a quick marketing outreach campaign to the community for everyone to send their NFT to this one wallet. And then we do an auction for this one wallet, let's say after 1 week of collecting NFTs. And the proceeds of the auction would go to Pike. Or ideally, we find vendors that take ADA directly and somehow ship it there, if that's feasible. I don't know, but that's another idea. Yeah, and then we can iterate on that.
This is our challenge, isn't it? How do we make this better? How do we do this?
Well, one thing I might add, the most important thing and feedback that I got was regarding the transparency of where the funds go and how they are invested. So my idea was, before we do this NFT campaign, we sit down with Pike and we get some numbers down, what the minimum cost of like one of these care packages, what his costs are, so that we can somehow budget this thing and give people a realistic, communicate realistically what they can expect when the wallet reaches a certain amount of donations or biddings. And,
it's possible to do that for sure, Dan. I think in my case, I'm happy to send Pike my ADA without strings attached, because I know I sat down. I know I mentioned that we had done that video with Pike. I sat down with him and you know, in talking to him, he knows what he needs to do on the ground, and I don't want to tie him back or hold him back or actually give him
no, absolutely. Yeah. The only thing we would need is I mean, we could probably calculate it from the builds that he posted, and then we would just need a number from him, what he takes for his time and the hours he spends and whatnot. And that would be our total budget, I guess. And then we need to set him up with a wallet that is not in Kraken. Ideally, a wallet that also stakes. No, but it doesn't make sense because it's going to convert it anyway. So then we need to be transparent about. It goes in his
wallet. Yeah, it goes in his wallet and it goes right out. And that's why we did this a year ago and found that Kraken was actually the best in his situation in order to exchange it. If there's a better option out there, let's figure that out for him.
No, then we just need to be transparent about that. It's a Kraken account, so people don't wonder why it has 100 million stakes, 100 million ADA on the staking.
Unstaked ADA, and also 917,000 gimbals at the moment.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I doubt that we will get them back, but
we will.
No, makes Gimbal more valuable actually.
It's interesting because Pike and I are both speaking to the help, and they are amazing. So I'm not going to worry about that at this point. We're going to figure this one out, and sometimes this just happens. But it's not the thing on my priority right now. This is the end of our main event, and you've heard from some amazing presenters, and I want to thank every one of you for being here. We had a bit of a scramble putting this together, first iteration, and let's see what's up.
Hey, if I can screen share, I'd love to show you a preview of the Littercoin smart contract.
Okay, so this is one option for a breakout room. What else?
Oh, I'd love to hear from everyone. I mean, it's just it's one of those things. But Littercoin, I'm definitely interested in seeing. I know that Lawrence was, who's not here now, but that's a big part of what he's been doing, and that's a great collaboration. I've really loved like kind of reconnecting with Pike and seeing all those things and really telling the story of Pike and C4C and just how this community has really sort of made this direct boots on the ground kind of impact, and we've all kind of gotten around to that. But then, the other one is Bruno's Empowa. I think that's a big deal with the World Mobile, and I didn't know that we had 35 houses financed. Like that, I think is a huge, huge deal. So I'd love to have a breakout room with them, or to have if Bruno's still about, that would be great. And then all this stuff going on in Goma, which is, I didn't quite realize that they have like this national park. And I know that the national parks in Africa are a really, really big deal. But this park that they mentioned is all around this lake. And it's a series of national parks. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about that.
You'll find the WADA documentary, a half hour. That's very eye-opening as well. I don't know if you've watched it or not, but that in itself is pretty cool. Bruno, do you want to pipe up about this? You said you've got a connection in Virunga.
Yeah, it was back when we were doing the, what do you call it? It was the Smart Hubs, Impact, I forgot what it was called now, but you were onboarding projects in the impact space to Cardano, and they were one project I was speaking to, and I'm still speaking to them, but it was just a slow process to find, how we can integrate Cardano. They have like a bunch of cool things going on there. They have, I think, Boaz was mentioning some of this earlier, but in French, so I can, probably recover it. It's like they have like hydroelectric plants there, which I think supply a lot of the energy to Goma. They have gorillas, which are obviously like protected species, and they were thinking to do maybe like an NFT thing with the gorillas or something to like verify the gorilla and protect the gorillas, because there's a lot of poachers and stuff and a lot of issues there around those problems. And we're still exploring stuff with him, and hopefully we find a right fit for his project.
Was he in Cardano for Climate a year ago? The same project?
He could have been. He's around in the like crypto space. So he works as like the digitalization at the national park. So he's in the space of digitalization. So crypto stuff is something he's aware of. He plays around with that. So he could have easily been.
Okay, so we're gonna have to figure out that thread of things as well.
Yeah, maybe we can chat about tomorrow at the C4C.
Right, and tomorrow, that being said, we have our monthly community council meetup. Won't be recorded. Everybody's welcome to join and carry on the conversation. Just speak from your heart at that point, and that happens at 4 p.m. UTC on Wednesday. So, OpenLitterMap. We have OpenLitterMap, and we've got to solve this with Pike. Who goes first?
I won't be long. I mean, I'll be like 2 minutes, and we can probably move it along to Pike, because I think this Pike thing is really significant, because we have a chance as like this global decentralized community to pick people and be like, okay, let's fucking support them. And Pike is the real deal. So I would love to see how we can navigate that.
Awesome.
Right? And just there's already talk. We've got Ricardo in Germany. He's interested in helping Pike set up a nonprofit. So as well, I think Dan raised a good point that rather than just giving money to an individual, we can actually find the vendors, the merchants, the businesses that they need, and we can give them a token to say, this is what we do at Littercoin. Say, we approve of you. You're the only ones who can take money out of the smart contract. So we put the ADA crypto into the smart contract. Anyone can go and get it, but then we say, well, only these people that hold this merchant token, only they can make the transaction. So that source code now is working, and we're going to have something in production now in the next month.
Sean, I've got the share screen. You go ahead and share this, because now I'm seeing the connection. I'm seeing how this is going to fit in with Pike's story.
Sure. So this is our just pre-production website. Just a load of test data, so it doesn't matter if anything breaks. But this is the new Littercoin webpage, right? A zero waste currency for humanity. And unlike all of the noise on social media and alternative realities that are being constructed by social media companies. Littercoins created by real people, like the people we've got in this chat room, who are collecting real data that we can verify, and not just about the litter, but the companies that are branded across that litter, be it McDonald's or whoever. We can collect data on them. And these companies, obviously, their products are, some of them are polluting a real environment. So this, I just threw this together yesterday, right? But this is the idea: is you get your Littercoin, and the only place you can spend it are with these pre-approved climate merchants. So we can give Littercoin value, but we can say, well, you can't just spend it in Starbucks or any of these companies where, you know, that are causing the problem. The only place you can spend it are in the merchants that we approve of, which it's not perfect, right? But it's in development. But if I log in, one second. Yeah. And if I go to settings, we're probably going to move this, right? But for now, Littercoin smart contract, and this loads from the blockchain directly, right? So there's 100 ADA in this smart contract. And on this test website, there's 6 Littercoin out there in people's wallets in circulation. And this ratio gives us 16.8 ADA per Littercoin, which has a dollar value of 610. And you can see the source code and the address. And you can drill into it. And all the code to make that as well is open source. This is only one of the many files that Lawrence wrote. I can't even open that one now, but all of the code that we wrote as well is open source, right? So we've got inside OpenLitterMap, when you download the repository, there's a folder here called Littercoin. And so anyone can fork this and just start their own token economy. So there's some initialization files. This is building the transaction, so on and so forth, and a bunch of Helios files, not Haskell actually. Lawrence found this new programming language for Cardano called Helios, which is really easy. And yeah, that's what we've got. So you can select your wallet, right, be it NAMI or Eternal. And if you're owed Littercoin, so this guy has earned 4, he's received 4, so he's not due to receive any more Littercoin. He hasn't mined any more Littercoin yet. So I can, if I'm owed Littercoin, I can say, well, this is where I want it, and I can actually claim the Littercoin that I'm owed by the system. And we also sign all these transactions on the back end. So it's multi-signature. So this is publicly facing. So someone needs to sign this, and then we also, as the administrator, also need to sign the transaction to say yes, we approve of this mint or burn or whatever. So there's several transactions that are needed to submit this to the blockchain before it even goes to the chain. So then if you have Littercoin, but only if you have a merchant token, you can send the Littercoin now to the smart contract and say, well, I've got 6 Littercoin. I want my $6 per Littercoin. I'll get my 100 ADA. And yeah, only the administrator can mint a merchant token. So I could put an address in here, or if you download our source code, you can put an address in here. And you can say, well, these are the merchants that I approve of in my smart contract. And then anyone, a single signature, anyone then can add ADA to the Littercoin smart contract. So that's going to go into that other page here, Littercoin, that I'm currently working on. So yeah, anyone can submit ADA to the smart contract, publicly facing. And that's going to go live on 420.
Fabulous.
And that goes live on the pre-prod or on the mainnet?
On the mainnet.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been tested. We're just going to make it better and get it ready. And 420, we're going to drop this on the internet and make it real.
That's awesome. How many merchants are there? And how do we go about? Because I remember us talking about that. Like what are the first merchants? Because we've already got the first Littercoin. You know, people that are mining or gathering litter and doing that are earning Littercoin. But what about the merchants?
I've got a few lined up, but I haven't publicized with any of them really yet. So it's not public knowledge. Okay. So we have yet really to publicize this, and I want it working, right? I don't want it to be an idea. I want them to actually go for it. So yeah, that's what's happening.
you know, that end game of the zero waste and widening the scope of our economy and logistics to include waste management. Right now, it doesn't make it doesn't make financial sense for these companies, and they're just willing to pay whatever or deal with this sort of thing that we've all come to accept, which MA is sort of illustrating. She's just like, we deserve better than to live in a place that's junked up with trash, and it's not even our trash. So I think that OpenLitterMap and Littercoin have addressed this problem, and really at the philosophical ends of it, when you get to this sort of zero waste society, which is a mindset of the environmental movement, that we look at our supply chain in a whole way. The economic they call it externalities. It's the thing that they don't measure. They're just like, well, we're just going to work with just this, and once it goes into the landfill, once it becomes trash, it's no longer our problem. It's no longer in our ledger. It's not, just sort of disappears. But we all know that it doesn't disappear. It goes downriver, and it generally ends up in, all these places on OpenLitterMap.